It's December. I don't feel anything for the month anymore. Not for myself, anyway. I'm not some sort of misanthrope that hates Christmas, seething at every sight of a holly wreath or mistletoe. I'm no Scrooge, no. The concept of Christmas has been wonderful to me ever since I was a boy, sharing the seasonal joy with my youth friends and showing them the cherished gifts I had been given. I enjoyed Christmas then, and many memories still exist in my head of many of a 25th spent at any now late relatives' houses. Cousins rarely seen coming over to celebrate and hopefully give me gifts too. So why do I express nothing towards every holiday I know I have loved? Because I no longer can love it. It's not that I chose not to. Physically not. Cannot. And I cannot because of my condition that does not allow me to. Beginning of what I'm talking about began on my 17th birthday. My birthday falls on the 13th of November. As such, it became a theme that my relatives liked to get me all sort of advent calendars, among many other gifts. As a sort of running-in joke I admittedly did find funny for a time. I got all kinds of calendars to signify the countdown to Christmas Day. Cheap store-bought ones, novelty ones, kids-themed ones, and even some adult-themed ones as well. Occasionally, though, I'd get more expensive ones, like the ones made from certain types of material that displayed pictures rather than having candy within them. It was on my 17th birthday that I got one of these. We were sat in the lounge in my mother and father's modest house. Everyone gathered around to see me open my gifts. Up until I got to my aunt's carefully wrapped gift, I had a whale of a time opening everything. The everything I laid my eyes upon it. I had sensed something was wrong with it. It was a gut phenomenon, and I was absolutely right. But in a public setting, where a dozen people are watching you, expecting you to enjoy something, you really can't say that you suddenly dislike something because of a gut feeling. That'd be rude. And so, I had looked over the advent calendar in my hands, pretending to drink in what I had been given in awe. It was an ornate thing. It was carved in from mahogany, and the illustrations on the door were hand painted in a way that just reminded me of artwork on Russian dolls. The edges were gilded with swirling gold designs, and search number titles was painted on to look like a heavy set at brown planked over with a frosted window. There were a painted shadow was displayed to give an illusion of a person standing behind it. For some reason I could feel them looking at me. The numbers themselves were painted on the center of each door in red and white alternating colors, reminiscent of a candy cane. I didn't know what I know now, but I knew everything that holding my calendar in my hands did not feel right. "Well, do you like it, Alec?" my aunt asked. I had done my best to give a positive answer, despite the creeping sense of unease that I could not shake off. "Yeah, thank you, Aunt Greta. I have never owned a calendar like this one before." I wasn't lying. I hadn't. After the pleasantries that ended and everyone left, I retreated to my room with plans to look over this calendar one last time and then get rid of it. Being 17 now, my family wouldn't pry too much and question why they wouldn't see it displayed in my room anymore after I have disposed of it. They respected my privacy. My hands reached for it, and honestly, I still remember its beauty. Despite the discomfort I felt, I admire craftsmanship and artwork, whenever she got it from. My aunt probably paid way less for it than something like this of what it's worth. I peered at the hand-carved wooden details, flipping it over and examining the back. Written upon it, etched in letters, was, "Patience is a virtue." Now, I had never cared about the gimmicky teachings that calendars of religious variety like to peddle, but something felt different. This calendar already made me feel uncomfortable, so I did a little more notice of this particular message than I usually would, stopping to think of what that could be referring to. Not long after enough to understand it what actually meant, though. The following day, I took my calendar to a thrift store that was at my local and hometown. Hopefully, I'd be able to get a few bucks for it. The store clerk took it from my hands with a lack of any unease that I had when touching it. This threw me off a little. "Where did you get this, son?" he said to me with a look of wonder on his face. His hands traced themselves over the doors, going over to open the first to inspect it. I couldn't understand why he didn't feel the same apprehension I had about holding that thing. Door number 1 swung open its hinges, revealing an illustration of a reindeer in a snowy woodland environment. It was painted in some sort of kind of style as the rest of the calendar. Wavy ridges make up its brown fur and antlers. I noticed that the illustration's beady black eyes seemed to follow me wherever I looked it, trained on me instantly, almost alive. I swiftly averted my gaze. "It's lovely. Just wonderful," the cashier he said to me as he handed me $10. I hadn't really cared what the hell was up with that calendar. I just wanted far away from me. And if that man liked what he saw, then that wasn't my problem once he had bought it. I thought I hadn't cared, that is. You see, I can't prove exactly what caused my condition, but I have my suspicions, and it's not far-fetched to come to the conclusions I have. It developed that Christmas. It began to have a general feeling of emptiness. I felt pain and indifferent. Walking and talking with friends and family became slowly less and less meaningful as December crept onwards. I gradually felt odder and odder emotions, like I was being pulled every which way in the middle of a conversation. It began to wreck on my winter life, starting to ruin it with every possible ways. To start with, my job life became strained. Complaints became a problem as customers began complaining to my manager about my supposed lack of motivation and notorious conversation. I simply looked at it as if I didn't want to be there. I had no idea why I began to feel this way. I liked my retail job. It paid the bills and my coworkers were nice though. My love life also began to decline from December. Every relationship I had ended before this year was out. All it would take was just one seed of doubt, and I subsequently ruined all I had with the woman of my life. It was utterly hopeless. I felt physically exhausted, and it's still happening. Today's the 5th of December, and I'm already seeing the effects. I'm 26 now, to put it into perspective. The only difference between now and when it's first began is that I know what it is. I have become a mirror man. It's what I like to make sense of it. I live my life as a blank slate now, feeling muted and indifferent without interaction, no real feelings or traits of my own. But when I pass by someone on the street, if they consider me for a moment, I begin to feel an array of things. I've noticed a pattern. Whatever they think when they speak to me, even in their thoughts, became my emotions and actions. I am literally shaped by everyone else now. I can't even cry about it, because sadness is no longer something I could comprehend anymore without someone telling me that they think I look sad, or perhaps thinking that I may be upset about something. And so one thinks I'm a liar, I will become a liar. If one thinks that I'm a creep, that is what I become. I have tried to limit my interactions around December because it physically exhausts my body to flip it between in so many emotions and traits, and it inevitably ruins my relationships because I become what they think of me once I slip up in some way around them, even once. The alternative is sitting in a blank state of barely any thoughts, though a vague conscious of recollection of myself among the white noise is all I get. I thought long and hard about what caused this. I even tried therapy for a while, but the professional conclusion was inconclusive because they never heard a case where extreme and erratic changes in mood and personality were localized to December. No, this isn't medical. This is because of that thing that did to me, and I don't know what it did to me, why it did to have that happen to me. I am not waiting any longer for this to end. I'm sitting around for a month every year to minimize the physical extraction on my brain and body. I can't take it anymore. I can't take the white noise and static in my head constantly when I'm alone for an entire month. I can't take being aware that I'm becoming what someone else thinks I am from passing comment or throughout, yet being unable to stop it or alter how I am afterwards until I've left their presence. And so that's why I'm standing here at the edge of a suspension bridge high above the swirling, churning water on a cold winter night. My car sits next to me, the only remaining ally in the world of isolation. It'll soon be forgotten now. I think back one last time through Christmas memories, watching them like a movie in my head. I could see myself having fun. I know logically that I'm enjoying myself, but I simply cannot feel it. There is nothing there. Not anymore. My legs swung over the edge, dangling as I sat down. I close my eyes. I don't fear death, but I just can't. All I know is that I can't keep on being a passenger in my own body, cursing migraines after changing personality so many times, odd and foraging thoughts, causing the chronic pain that caused no medication to stop. No more waiting, no more enduring. I lunge forward, falling towards the icy depths. My body hits the water, and though I feel my nerves begin to work over time from the freezing temperature of the liquid, my mind is at peace. I sink below the surface, my eyes glazed over as if I began to descend. Thoughts growing misty. The white noise begins to overtake everything as I drift towards my salvation. As everything becomes blurred and muted, I see a spectral shape flowing through the water towards me, beginning to take form as it seems to gallop. It stops in front of me, an indifferent beryllium I recognize from my memories, those beady staring eyes, boring into my soul, unblinking, unmoving. That deer, it watches me in the most serene silence as I drift further and further away. Its mouth cracks into a smile, sinister and cruel, full of mocking malice. But as my vision begins to fade, I realize that I understand why. As I succumb to the water, white noise giving away to my nothingness, I smile back as finally a semblance of clarity reaches me. A natural thought, unplanted by others, manifests the abyss of fuzzy static. I just couldn't wait.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.